6. Wednesday will be sunny to partly cloudy with a thunderstorm at spots in the afternoon. High on Wednesday 88 to 90. Thunderstorm in the afternoon Thursday, high 86 to 90. From the Florida Weather Center, I'm Holly Waldron.
Blockers Furniture is having their huge Independence Day 4th of July sale. We're talking an 80,000 square foot showroom full of savings. Beautiful sectionals starting as low as $19 per month. Check out the Dunlow Power Headrest Sofa with savings up to $200. You can save up to $600 on select queen storage bed with dresser and mirror sets. And right now during Blockers Furniture Independence Day 4th of July sale, mattresses start at just $3.99. And all outdoor furniture and accessories 25% off. Blockers Furniture, 2402 Southwest College Road, Ocala. See store for complete offer details.
This hour of Ocala Talks is brought to you in part by Blockers Furniture. Go see all their specials at blockersfurniture.com.
Auto repair with personal care. We know what we're talking about. Matt Gibbs and the guys over at Sunrise Automotive will treat you right. We'll treat you right.
That's right. It's listen to me, I'm trying to make you Carol Ann Baldwin. It's Matt Gibbs with Sunrise Auto, personal care. Auto care. Look, I can't even get it right today.
Hey, this is Matt Gibbs from Sunrise Automotive. Auto repair with personal care.
You know what? I am so excited. That's what's got me. I'm so excited because for the last 5 days, 6 days, every time I get in my car, I don't lose 4 pounds of water. Because my air conditioner works now. And I liked how I took my car into Matt, as I suggest all you do. And Matt said, let's check it out. Let's run a diagnostic on it. That's what you guys did. Put your little, first off, he put his little handheld tablet that he plugs into the, what's the name of that plug?
OBD2 connector.
Yeah, he plugs into the connector. And the literally the tablet says, what the hell are you doing to me?
Yeah, it's a tilt.
I go, Matt, how many things are popping up? He goes, we're at page 7. There's too much to look at. All of these alerts, a lot of them were communication problems where the computers weren't communicating.
Yeah.
So you took it in and found out the worst part of it, that the air conditioner had to be replaced.
The compressor.
Yeah. Well, that's the air conditioner, isn't it? Without
there's more to it than just a
But without the compressor, the rest of it ain't working.
Well, without any of it, nothing works. But, yeah, the compressor wasn't compressing no more.
No, it was they filled it up with Freon, and the pressure just was not coming up.
No, it was kind of equal.
Yeah, and they go, well, that's a compressor issue.
It's a compressor, which led into another issue.
Oh, yeah. What would that? I didn't quite get that. When you replaced the compressor, there was something else that had to be. It was the evaporator or something?
No, the condenser.
The condenser. What is – explain to somebody knows nothing what a condenser is.
Well, basically the condenser is that thing in front of your radiator out in front.
Okay.
So back in the day, we used to – like if a compressor come apart, so what happens is a compressor is just like it's like a small engine.
Right.
Okay, and that compressor actually has it's a 6-cylinder compressor. And it has pistons, and it has rings, and it has all that kind of jazz. So a compressor, the AC compressor is like your heart. Your heart, you got your blood pressure, you're 200 over 70.
Right.
Well, that's not a good blood pressure.
No, mine's 120 over 85.
That's good. That's not, okay. So what that is the pressure that your heart is sucking in and the pressure that your heart is pushing out. Okay. Well, your compressor, it works exactly the same way. It sucks in the Freon
and pushes
it out. So that's our low side and high side. Low side is the cold side. High side is the hot side. And yours is yours was equal. It was like
mine was
45 and 90.
Yeah.
So it should be like 200 over 35.
Yeah, mine was like, I think he said mine when he tested it was like 85 over 45 or something.
Right. So it's just telling us now your compressor is not pumping, and pushing. So then now, what happened to it? Did it just break a rod? What caused the compressor to stop pumping? Did it break something inside? And if it does, it puts metal throughout the system. So back in the day, we used to be able to take condensers out, and we have the safety clean tanks. You remember that? And we would actually put them back in a safety clean tank, wash all the metal out of them, and blow them all out, and then put a liquid in there. It's almost like brake clean that we could wash everything out. And then when brake clean evaporates, it's gone. It doesn't leave a residue.
But that was back in the day.
That was back in the day. So now, let's just say, I'm pulling out a straw. Back in the day, the condenser was just a whole bunch of tubes.
Straws.
A whole bunch of tubes. Today, these things here, there's 8 tubes within one. There's 8 passages within one tube.
Oh, I see.
So what happens is it's called a bilateral condenser. So you can't flush them anymore. There's too much space. So you have to replace them. So on your case, and on top of that, your dryer is also built into the condenser. So we had to replace the condenser, the dryer, and the compressor, flush all the lines, flush the evaporator, flush everything else.
Well, when you brought the car back to me, the first thing I noticed, it was leaking, which is a good sign. When your car's leaking water, that means the air conditioner is functioning good. Because that water's got to go somewhere. The air conditioner's correct.
Yeah. All the condensation.
Right, the condensation. And my wife gets in. She notices 2 things right away. One, within 5 minutes, the car's cool enough where it's comfortable. And 2, she goes, did they replace the blower motor? Because this fan's blowing a lot harder than it did. And I go, it's a brand new brand new fan motor a year ago. So there probably wasn't much wrong with the fan. It was just the mechanism that was supposed to be pushing the air out with the fan probably wasn't pushing hard enough. And so the fan was doing what it's supposed to be doing. It just wasn't being supported by the rest of the unit.
Right.
Because now she goes, God, that fan is noisy on high. Because it puts so much air out now that it's loud. And she enjoys that the air is working again, but she doesn't want to drive in the car in the early mornings anymore.
Why?
Because it's too cold.
That's the best time to drive it, too, is early mornings and the late evenings.
Yeah, because you get out there, you told me. I go, how cold is it? You go, well, it's relative because it's 98 degrees outside.
And really, the temperature isn't really what gets us as much as the humidity.
Right.
The air is so thick right now. It's so thick that it has trouble going through the evaporator process, the condensing process. The air has just got so much moisture in it right now that it's hard to cool it. So it's been difficult. We've had a lot of folks. This afternoon rains really helped the air conditioning business because it makes it work a lot more efficient. But we've had a lot of folks coming in right now saying, my air conditioner no, your air conditioner actually works great. It's just so humid that it's struggling.
Well, I have a very good friend of mine that's an home air conditioning guy. He owns a company and they do home and commercial air conditioning. And he told me, and I couldn't believe it, and then he explained why and everything, that you can set your air on 70, but your air conditioner is really only going to cool your house about 20 degrees less than what it is outside.
That's right.
So you can set it on 70, but if it's 98 degrees outside, the house going to be that air conditioner is going to run all day because the house is going to be about 77, 78 degrees.
Right, that's right.
And there ain't nothing you can do about it.
That's right. There's nothing you can do about it.
And he said it's simply because of the humidity.
That's exactly right. So in our world, there's tolerances for everything. I work for General Motors, so I always refer back to them. So General Motors, the tolerance was if a customer came in and said, my air conditioner is not working correctly, you get the relative humidity and the temperature, and there was actually a chart we could go through, the time of day, yada, 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 and we go through this process. Well, if the humidity is this, the temperature is this, the air conditioner coming out the vent should be this. And it's usually typically 20 degrees, and if it is 20 degrees coming out the vents, then there's nothing wrong. There's not a failure with this system.
It just ain't gonna cool it anymore.
It's just so hot that it's just not efficient right now.
But 78 degrees feels wonderful when it's 98 degrees outside.
And 110% humidity.
Right. And that's what we have with the heat index and all. It's been
it's up
so
to
bad.
110, 112 degrees.
So 78 feels like it's a lot better.
And just think, you're just a window away from being outside.
Right.
At least in your house, you go in the middle of the house.
Speaking of windows, my motor's gone in my driver's side window.
Yeah.
Or something's gone. The switch is
right,
bad
right.
or something. And, I rolled it up. So luckily I got it up to where the bar is up. But I've realized now since the air's been on that you can hear it now. And I guess I never noticed it before. It's got probably a quarter inch or less, but the window's not rolled up all the way.
Uh-oh.
And I'm like, God. Now, because I know how much a motor costs. I've already replaced 2 motors in the Cadillac. I know that, they run about to install. And now I don't know the front door motor. I bet the front door motor is different than the back door motors.
The left front is the most expensive of the whole car.
And it's the left front we're talking about.
Of course.
Yeah. And I'm pretty sure, after talking to you, that the left front motor is also where they probably have the radio shut off wired to, and the ability to start and stop, to start your car from your remote without you being in it.
Yep.
Because
that's all tied in together.
Because I can't start my car anymore with my fob, and my radio doesn't shut off when the car's cut off.
Right.
You open the door, radio shuts off.
Right.
Now you open the door, the radio stays playing.
Yep.
And I bet it's all related to that switch that went out in the door because, as you said, you told me, I didn't know this, they may use that power module for that switch to power 3 or 4 different things.
Yeah, that's not a switch. It's actually a module.
Right.
Yeah.
And that they may wire 3 or 4 different things to that module, and when that module goes out, all those things stop working. It's not just your window won't roll down. All those things stop working.
The wheels on the bus go round and round, and that window switch, that window module, the door module, is part of that bus system. So because we did scan it that day, one of the things I did notice is it shows door ajar even when the door is closed.
Even when the door is closed, it says it's open.
Right.
Now it doesn't show it in the door ajar symbol on the.
Right. In the computer side of it, though, there was an issue with the driver's side door. There was U codes for the driver's side door, so that's definitely where it would just take us to that door first.
Susan says I'll have a new car within the next year. I go, oh, we're buying one? She goes, no, Matt will have rebuilt yours. Good morning. You're on with Matt Gibbs.
Good morning, Tom, Matt.
Good morning, Sonny.
I was just wondering if you ever looked into that Echo Pulse chip that you plug into the OBD2 port.
No, I didn't.
And
I looked into
guess
it.
it mustn't have been that good because I don't see it advertised anymore. So, like I said, it's probably just a great port cover.
Thanks for the call, Sonny.
The other thing is
Go ahead.
Your with the air conditioner, I put it on recycle, and it makes a big difference. I don't think it's working as much because you're not getting rid of as much water when it's on recycle once you dry it out inside the car.
That's right.
I'll hang up and listen to your
Thanks, Sonny.
answer on that OCB.
I actually looked into it.
Okay.
I looked at Consumer Reports. I looked at U.S. News and World Report on it and Motor Trend.
Okay.
Looked them all 3 up, and they all 3, I'm paraphrasing here, junk.
Yeah.
They all said it's really snake oil medicine to try to make you think that, and it'll show an improvement, but the improvement's usually about a quarter of a gallon. Is the improvement. It's not anything, they tout that it'll stretch 4 or 5 more miles to the gallon, and it's really about a quarter mile.
Well, if you ever needed to go that extra quarter mile, but you got to pay to $29.95.
Motor Trend was especially harsh.
Yeah.
About it.
Well, and that's usually what it is, and that's why I don't even. If it doesn't have common sense, putting a pill in your gas tank, it just doesn't make common sense.
You put a pill in vinegar to dye eggs. That's what you do.
When you're adding magnets to fuel lines.
So I got something real cool that happened that come up today on Facebook. We have some family friends, my wife and I, that live out in Arizona, and they do they make high performance oil for cars to go 10, 15,000 miles without an oil change or everything. And they use it for fleet vehicles and race cars and all. Well, check this picture out. See the logo on the middle of that hood? Not Snelling, but the high performance.
I can't see it. I'm too.
Right there in the center of that hood.
Yeah.
On that funny car, the high performance. That's a very good friend of my wife, who she grew up with her. It's been a high school friend since early childhood. That's the new PS5 NHRA NASCAR race. Dragster racing game, and there their logo is on the car right there and everything. That's pretty cool, and it's a fleet vehicle type thing, but racing car performance and everything too. Oil, and it was just cool that we opened that up and said, look at there. There's our buddy right there.
Yeah.
Now, and I didn't realize that this kind of high performance oil was needed, but then I thought about it with fleet cars and rental cars that go miles, and the U-Haul trucks and all. That's who they market to, because I guess there's a real need to stretch your lubricant to go 10, 15,000 miles if you got those big fleet vehicles or you got the big fleets of cars and everything.
Right. And so I'm sure it's a synthetic oil.
I'm sure.
I'll be honest with you, I'd be very curious, because I'm that kind of guy. Now, that's something that I would want to see.
Right.
So if I could get a quart of that oil,
I can get you one.
I'd love to test it and see how it tests.
I can get you one.
I'm serious. I have a guy that will come
and test it.
Well,
yeah, you said the guy from the company you use.
Schaefer's. And I kind of did a scam on him one time, and
you told us. You said you mixed.
Yeah, I made my own little concoction of oil, and he was like, "Dude, this is really good oil." It was their oil, but he didn't know that.
Right.
But he didn't try to manipulate it or downplay it or whatever. He's like, "Wow, this is really good oil,"
Well, they've done this from grassroots, built it since they were, it's been many, many years, and they're getting good traction with it now. And I guess you get pretty good traction if you end up on a PlayStation 5 video game.
Well, you get pretty good traction when you actually make something that actually works.
Right.
Especially now, so
they're on. That is the actual. They're actually on that funny car as a sponsor.
Okay.
In real life, and that's how it got in the game.
Now, I'm gonna ask a real question.
Uh-huh.
So, are they on the hood of the car because they paid all the money to get on the hood?
They
of the car?
use that performance in that funny car.
Okay, and that's it. So
it's both. The answer is both. They did pay money to get on the hood of the car, but they also they didn't pay all money. They used the oil in that car as well.
Because I know a NASCAR team that has one oil on the car
and doesn't use it at all,
and has a different oil in the engine.
Right, yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Right. No, and that happens a lot.
Yeah, it sure does.
If you'll pay me $350,000, I'll put you on the side of the car for a year. That don't bother me.
Right.
But you don't like my motor oil. I don't care about that. I like your money.
See, and I can't endorse. If I don't like a product, I'm not endorsing it. And it may be that, and I might like a couple different companies that make the same thing. But if I don't like something, I don't care how much money you're going to pay me. I ain't using it. Because I have a lot of people come into my shop
trying to get you to endorse.
Will you start selling my product? Will you start using my product? Will you start using my thing? And I was like, no, I don't like your thing. And I don't have a problem telling them that.
No, no problem whatsoever.
And I love Interstate Batteries. Mm-hmm. I do. I like the guy that owns the company. I got to meet him. I got to meet him, Joe Gibbs.
Right.
I got to have lunch with these guys. They make a great battery. I can't sell their battery. Want to know why? Because there's not enough. If you bought a battery for me and there's a problem with that battery, if I don't have that battery, I got to drive around town try to find you a replacement battery.
There's not enough interstate batteries in the area.
There's not enough interstate batteries in the area.
Yeah. Good morning. You're on with Matt Gibbs.
Morning, guys.
Morning, Hugh.
Speaking of oil, with oil filters, are there different quality oil filters, like a good expensive one or a cheap one, or are they all basically the same except for the size?
Thanks for the call, Hugh.
Absolutely, there's different oil filters. Wix makes probably one of the best filters.
They're horrible at making websites, though. But they make a good oil filter.
But a lot of times what we do is certain cars, certain applications, I would get the factory oil filter because like they might have a check valve in it to keep the oil when you shut the car off to keep the oil from going back into the crankcase. There'll be a check valve in the oil filter so that the next time you go start it, it's full of oil.
And that's proprietary to the manufacturer.
That manufacturer saying, I want this done. Now, GM, Ford, Toyota, Honda, they don't make oil filters, but whoever they outsource it to, they have their demands, their criteria, and these companies have to meet it according to their standard.
Well, I mean, one of the greatest slogans and taglines in the history of commercials. You can pay me now, or you can pay me later.
That's it.
I knew that was Fram oil and air filters.
Right, exactly.
You know, and my dad loved Fram oil filters. In the 70s, he put Fram was what he used. That was the people he used. But people would come by all the time trying to sell him. I remember the first guy that come by and tried to sell him another tool besides SnapOn. My dad said, let me stop you there, partner. There's not a better tool than SnapOn. Sir, I begged it. He goes, I don't care whether you're begging me or not. There's not a better tool than SnapOn. He goes, sir, my dad goes over now and puts a Snap-on wrench, 3/4 inch wrench on a cement block in the pavement, hits it with a sledgehammer, snaps it in half, goes, you just watched me destroy that, right? He goes, yeah. He goes, if you'd have watched me destroy your wrench, would you have gave me one for free? He goes, no. He goes, my Snap-on man, I will tell him I broke this to show you that I can get a replacement regardless, and he'll give me a replacement. Until you can tell me you'll replace it, no questions asked, you're not going to have a better product than what Snap-on has because wrenches are going to break.
That's right. Well, okay, I got to throw this out. I know we only got a couple minutes, but okay, so the Snap-on man, his name is Dan Anderson. Yeah. Everybody sees him around town. He drives a big giant trailer.
So Snap-on.
It's Snap-on. All right, so Dan Anderson, Snap-on man. Okay, I've been buying tools from him and only him.
40 years?
Since I was 16 years old.
And you're
56.
You're 46 now. Oh, 40 years. I got it right. Look at that.
56. Okay. I came to the shop one day. I was out picking up a car, came in, and there was a Weber grill. Right? Weber's a nice grill.
It's a very nice grill.
It's got Snap-on all over it.
Wrenches used to lift it up.
No, it's just a Weber grill, but it's decaled up by Snap-on.
Right.
There you go, buddy. That's what you get after 40 years buying tools from one guy.
You get a Weber grill.
Tom, my office writes him a check every week.
Yeah.
Whether I owe him any money or not.
Well, I thought for the longest time every red shop rag was a Snap-on rag because they had Snap-on. My dad got the shop rags from him. They were printed Snap-on the shop rag. You got one in your back pocket, don't
you? Come here. Look, I got
Snap-on socks. Look, if Snap-on's not paying us anything, my dad but his red Snap-on toolbox, I mean, I know where it is.
Yep.
Believe me, the old man's tools are still part of the family.
Yep.
I know where they're at.
Yep.
They're not mine anymore. They were mine. They were after he passed away. They were for me. And I go, well, I ain't used to these, so I gave them to a cousin that I knew was a mechanic, and he still has them. And he owns a company that tows commercial vehicles and stuff for the auction back and forth and everything. And he still has those tools, and he works on his own record, everything with Uncle Smitty's tools to this day. And, you know, the old man had a full high red chest. I bet he had, by today's standards, probably $10,000 worth of tools.
Oh, no.
Is it more than that now? Yeah, see how much I know.
Yeah, I bought a tool set yesterday just to pull injectors out of an engine. That tool set is $1,400 just for the
Oh yeah, and the old man had everything. He had all the open-end wrenches from an inch and a half all the way down. You know.
Yeah, you just do.
Yeah, he had all the he had a socket. One of his sockets was like 3 or 4 inches across. I go, what is that? Because in his later years he was a diesel mechanic. I go, what do you need that for? He goes, son, you ain't never seen a diesel motor. And he worked. When I say a diesel mechanic, He worked on bulldozers and front end loaders and stuff.
Yeah, heavy equipment stuff.
Yeah, heavy equipment stuff. Matt, where can they find you?
You can find me at 1800 Northwest 10th Street, or you can give me a call at 352-690-1993. Come by and see us sometime.
Matt Gibbs from Sunrise Auto. Talk to you next week.
Yes, sir.
We'll be back at this time out.
USA Radio News with Lance Pride.
46 migrants were found dead in the back of a tractor trailer in San Antonio, Texas on Monday. Law enforcement officials said 16 others, 12 adults and 4 children, were taken to local hospitals with heat-related injuries. Police Chief William McManus.
A worker who works in one of the buildings up here behind me heard a cry for help, came out to investigate, found a trailer with the doors partially open, opened them up to take a look, and found a number of deceased individuals inside.
The U.S. military is reporting a drone strike in Syria's Idlib province killed a senior leader of an al-Qaeda-aligned terrorist group on Monday. Abu al-Yemeni, a senior leader for Haras al-Din, was traveling alone on a motorcycle at the time of the strike. USA Radio News.
First, we decide where we want to go. Then we need to know the best way to get there. Hi, my name's Adam Barada. I'm the owner of Advantage Gold. We're the highest-rated precious metals firm in the country. We teach people how to own physical gold and silver. Now, we've won the Best of TrustLink Award 4 years in a row because we educate our clients on how to buy gold and silver the right way. We don't pay celebrity spokespeople millions of dollars. We'd rather pass that value on to you. Call 800-900-8000 and speak with one of our experts. We'll send you a free gold kit along with my latest #1 national best-selling book, The Great Devaluation. Call 800-900-8000. That's 800-900-8000. Get the best information, the best process, the best service, the best value. Call Advantage Gold at 800-900-8000. Call 800-900-8000.
Hello.
You know what you want to do in retirement, but do you know how to get there? Join Gary and Don Crawford of Pinnacle Retirement Advisors for Retirement with Pinnacle, Saturday mornings at 9 to get answers to your retirement planning questions. Plan today so you can do the things you've always dreamt about doing in retirement. Don't miss Retirement with Pinnacle with Gary and Don Crawford, Saturday mornings at 9. Firm offers insurance services. Investment advisory services offered only by duly registered individuals through AE Wealth Management, LLC.
Think you know Dex Imaging? Think again. In the office, streamlining communications. In the field, delivering top-notch service, enhancing productivity and reducing downtime. In the data center, a part of the growing digital document revolution. In the world of business, supporting entrepreneurs and helping companies grow. In the forefront of technology, developing cutting-edge document management solutions. So if you think you know Dex Imaging, you don't know Dex.
Hey, I didn't know it rained last night.
Oh, it didn't. Why do you say that?
Because little Johnny's in the backyard playing in that big mud puddle.
Did you leave the hose on?
No, the neighbor borrowed it yesterday.
Wait, is that the side where the septic...
Johnny, get out of there!
Having septic problems? At Mike Scott Plumbing, we can make those septic worries disappear. We can pump your septic tank, repair your drain field, and, if needed, even install a whole new system. At Mike Scott Plumbing, we don't take crap from anyone. We take it from everyone. 237-2888. Mike Scott Plumbing. If water runs through it, we do it.
People here are raving about QC Kinetics and how regenerative medicine has changed their life. People like Helen, an avid mountain climber who got sidelined when an accident left her knees in constant pain.
I was not able to train or do really anything on my knee.
Helen was told surgery would be her only option. But then she found QC Kinetics and was treated with natural biologics designed to repair and restore tissue in her knees. 3 months later, she was climbing the highest mountain in North America.
I got a very quick resolution to my pain. I began treatment in March, and I summited Denali June the 7th. It was super successful, and I recommend everyone seek out QC Kinetics as an alternative to surgery.
Get your life back with lasting results. No surgery, no drugs, no downtime. Call QC Kinetics today.
Call QC Kinetics, 352-400-4550. That's 352-400-4550. 352-400-4550.
Attention passengers, for Flight 1370, the plane has been delayed at its departure point and will be at least 2 hours late. We apologize for any inconvenience.
Are you serious? It took us over an hour to get here, 2 hours going through security and getting our tickets, and now we have to wait another 2 hours.
Yeah, it's beautiful here, but we're inside this overcrowded airport all day because the plane is stuck in bad weather.
This is the last time we ever do this. When we get back, we're going to Ocala Aviation and getting our pilot's license.
Yeah, we've been talking about that long enough. It's about time we did it. Then we could just fly ourselves and never have to deal with this mess again.
Right. No long lines, no full body groping security, no baggage checks.
Not to mention never losing your luggage. Remind me again why we haven't done that?
Well, we're idiots.
Oh, right.